Well, sir, the evening meal has been over only a little while as our scene opens now. And here in the living room of the small house halfway up in the next block, we find Mr. and Mrs. Victor Gook. Vic is established at the library table, competing with himself in a brisk game of solitaire. His wife sits nearby, ostensibly glancing through the newspaper. Actually, however, she's reading what's scribbled on a piece of scrap paper she just happened to spy beside her on the arm of the Davenport. And of a sudden, she says in expostulating tones,
No, Vic.
Beg pardon?
You're not going to send Christmas presents to all these fellas.
All what fellas?
On this scrap of paper.
That is a private scrap of paper.
Well, it's laying here on the arm of the Davenport, pretty public.
I meant to throw it in the garbage bucket and forgot.
No, but goodness. Gus Fuss, L. Wiley Fapp, U.F. Beakley, T.W. Weatherwax, Howard S.
Some of those guys I'm going to send Christmas cards to.
No, I'm reading the list marked gifts. You got one list marked cards and one list marked gifts. This is the one marked gifts.
I feel that I'm quite capable of deciding to whom I wish to send Christmas presents. In fact,
we have the same rotten old argument every year.
I know we do, and it's the most distressing thing. I had intended to handle my own Christmas giving this time and make no mention of the matter around home here. However, I slipped up. Before supper, I jotted down a bunch of names on that piece of scrap paper there and carelessly allowed it to come under your eye.
Who's Gus Fuss?
A warm friend and a good scout.
Never heard of him.
He's with the Consolidated Kitchenware Company, Plant 17, Dubuque, Iowa.
Oh.
I believe I pointed you out his picture on the cover of the last Kitchenware Dealers Quarterly.
Shirt sleeves?
What?
Fella in his shirt sleeves, vest but no coat, earmuffs on his ears?
Yeah, that's Gus Fuss.
Why should you have to send him a big expensive Christmas present?
Is some mention made of big expensive Christmas presents on that list?
We might as well shovel our money out the window with a coal scoop.
I suggest you save your breath, Sadie. I'm determined that Gus Fuss will receive some slight token from his old pal Vic at Christmas time.
Spend $5 or $6,
Very possibly.
Well, let's draw our lovely money out of the savings bank and go throw it in the middle of Miller Park Lake.
All right, let's do.
Who's L. Willie Fapp?
L. Wiley Fapp.
Who's he?
Another wonderful fellow from Plant 17, Dubuque, Iowa.
Is he a dear old darling chum of yours?
I feel that between L. Wiley Fapp and myself there exists a firm bond of friendship. Yes.
Funny, I never heard any of these beloved arms-around-the-neck buddies.
I've mentioned L. Wiley Fapp on numerous occasions. I recall mentioning him just the other day. I was telling you and Rush about how he bought me a chocolate bar when I was in Dubuque.
He bought you a chocolate bar, so you feel like you have to trot out your pocketbook and get him a big, monstrous, expensive Christmas present.
Oh, kiddo, for Pete's sake.
No, but actually, every year in the world we go through the same business. You cook up a list of fellas a mile long to send gifts to. Why?
Please give me credit for
Gus Fuss, $5 present. Nell Willie Yap, $5 present.
L. Wiley Fapp. L. Wiley Fapp
That's
is...
$10. My goodness, $10. All that's Fondulix. Just because Jess Mess bought you an ice cream cone.
Not just Mess, Sadie. Gus Fuss. And it wasn't an ice cream cone. It was a chocolate bar. And it wasn't Gus Fuss bought it for me. It was L. Wiley Fapp. Furthermore, I think
February, March, April, May, June, July, August, September, October, November, we scrape and save and scrimp and accumulate money to put in the bank and are proud of ourselves. Then along comes December and something happens to your head and we take the bread out of our mouth to buy presents for all the fellas on this list. Oh, must be 20 fellas down here. And you're going to give them all $5 presents. Now, what's 5 times 20? 100?
Was when I went to school.
Think of it.
$100.
No, Vic, let's do that.
Do what?
Draw our money out of the savings bank and go throw it in the middle of Miller Park Lake.
I presume you have friends you intend to remember at Christmas time?
Just a teeny tiny rotten few. Robert and Laura Steen Price, Chuck and Dottie Brainfeeble, Bess and Walter, Fred and Ruthie, Mr. and Miss Donahue, Uncle Fletcher and Miss Harris, you and Rush. That's about my list.
Well, you're a housewife. I'm a businessman. Naturally, a businessman has many more obligations in the matter
fiddly whittle. Who's this U.F. Beakley?
U.F. Beakley happens to be the Exalted Big Dipper of the Purple Prairie Popinjay Chapter of the Sacred Stars of the Milky Way in Moline, Illinois.
A wild stranger.
The gentlemen whose names you see on that scrap of paper are not wild strangers. The gentleman whose
They're
name
wild strangers as far as I'm concerned. This U.F. Beakley now. What you going to buy him for Christmas?
A gold watch and chain.
No.
So U.F. Beakley gets a gold watch and chain. Gus Fuss gets a leather easy chair.
No.
L. Wiley Fat gets a 16-cylinder automobile. T.W. Weatherwax gets a set of office furniture. Howard S. Montgomery gets a ruby ring. I. Edson Box gets a yacht. And Sam Shout gets a solid platinum coat hanger.
Ha, ha, ha.
Percy X. Snoot gets an emerald necktie clasp, for which I propose laying out $15,000 hard cash.
Very funny. Ha, ha, ha.
Well, it's very funny, ha, 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 this dimwit talk. I'm not going to buy all those guys $5 presents. You ought to know that.
How much are you going to spend?
Well, I can't tell. Haven't thought about it. 50 cents, maybe. 75. $1.25.
What kind of a gift can you get for 50 cents?
I don't know, say.
No, but what kind can you?
I don't know.
There's 20 names on this list.
Are there?
I counted them. Suppose you bought 20 50-cent presents. What would that add up to?
$10.
Well, we're not the kind of people, Vic, where $10 is grow on trees out in our front yards, you know. We got to squeeze our $10 is till the Eagle House. Can't you cut down on some of these names?
Sure.
You can?
Sure.
You're just saying that.
No.
You're just saying that so I'll quit talking.
No, you cut down the list yourself. Scratch out anybody you choose. Scratch out Gus Fuss. Scratch out L. Wiley Fat. Scratch out Percy X. Snoot. Here's my pencil.
You'll just make out another list.
Oh.
Won't you?
Please say.
Of course, you're doing your best to make me out stingy and mean. You know I'm not, though. You know, I'm only trying to...
Telephone's ringing. Telephone's ringing.
All right, get it. Gus Fuss, L. Wiley Sapp, U.S. Beakley, T.W. Weatherwax, Howard S. Montgomery, I. Edson Box, Sam Shout.
Hello? Why, no, he's not. Down to YMCA, I believe. Well, I suppose, watching a fat man play handball. Who is it? Oh, hello, Rooster. How are you? Fine, thanks. Yeah, I think you'll find him there. Okay, Rooster. Rooster Davis, by George.
No, but what can you get for 50 cents?
Derby hat.
Seriously.
I don't know.
Can't get any very substantial Christmas gift for that little bit.
I'm just going to buy these fellas trifles, say.
You expect to receive Christmas presents from them?
Sure.
I don't remember you getting any 20 gifts from your business friends last year. Or any year.
I got quite a few.
What did Russ Bus send you?
Gus Fuss?
Yeah.
Sent me a necktie.
Where is it?
In Cody, Wyoming, under heavy guard.
I don't remember any necktie.
Oh, say.
No, but I don't.
Gus Fuss, give me a necktie. Gus Fuss, give me a necktie. Gus Fuss, give me a necktie. Gus Fuss, give me a necktie.
Funny, you can't tell me which one.
Gus Fuss, give me a necktie.
What did Bill Willie Phipps send you?
L. Wiley Fat?
Yeah.
Send me a necktie.
I don't recall you receiving any bushel baskets full of neckties last Christmas.
L. Wiley Fat sent me a necktie.
U.F. Beakley send you a necktie also?
Yes.
What color was it? Green?
Yes.
T.W. Weatherwax send you a necktie?
Yes. T.W. Weatherwax sent me a necktie.
And Howard S. Montgomery and I. Edson Box and Sam Shout and Percy X. Snoot?
Yes.
Just refuse to discuss this with me.
It's all so wretched and pointless and miserable.
I'm only trying to do what any wife would do, Vic.
Thanks.
If I see places where your lovely salary can be economized on a little, naturally I do my best to track them down. January, February, March, April, May, June, July, August, September, October, November, we watch our pennies and save and scrimp and are real proud of our thriftiness. And then December comes along and you trot out your lead pencil and fix up Christmas lists with Mus Cuss and Gel Billy Sapp and T.W. Weatherwax and Sam.
Telephone's ringing, telephone's ringing, telephone's ringing.
All right.
I bet it's good old Vernon Peggers, or good old Roy Snow, or good old Smelly Clark.
Yeah.
Maybe it's good old Leland Richards.
Could be good old Fred and Ruthie.
Hello? Oh, yes, it is.
Fred and Ruthie?
Yeah. How are you, Dr. Sleech? Oh, just sitting around with our shoelaces in our eyelets. Well, sir, by George, Ruthie, I'll just go to work and see. They feel like 500.
All right.
Sadie hit the ceiling with ecstasy at the prospect, Ruthie. Fine. 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 Okay, dandy. See you, Ruthie. Bye-bye.
Coming here,
Yep.
Right away?
Within the next half hour.
That's fast. L. Willie Fapp, U.S. Beakley, T.W. Weatherwax, Howard S. Montgomery.
Please, Sadie.
I. Edson Box, Sam Shout.
Please.
Percy X. Snoot.
Sadie.
What?
Please.
Which concludes another brief interlude at the small house halfway up in the next block. But don't forget to come along when we visit Vic and Sade the next time. This is Ed Hurley speaking. Well, sir, it's a few minutes past 8 o'clock as we enter the small house halfway up in the next block now. And here in the living room we find Mr. and Mrs. Victor Gook spending a quiet evening at home. Vic lounges on the davenport and gazes dreamily at his shoes. Sade is seated in her husband's easy chair beneath the floor lamp, reading aloud from the newspaper. Listen.
The bride, leaning heavily upon the arm of her father, was radiant in a going-away costume of off apricot, with stockings and pumps to match, with burnt caramel accessories and a small cloche hat. She carried a bouquet of mixed garden flowers. Out-of-town guests were Cyrus L. Freach of Kansas City, Missouri, a former employer of the groom, Ed and Will Fulper, Lexington, Illinois, Mr. and Mrs. U.O. Dimp and son Walrab of Red Wing, Minnesota, Harry K. Montgomery of West Pittston, Pennsylvania, Mr. and Mrs. Clark Dunlap of Cleveland, Ohio, Mr. and Mrs. Bill Lacey of Toronto, Ontario, Cadwallader...
telephone is again.
One answered.
Probably Ruthie's somebody.
No, I'm sure not.
Then let me hazard a guess. It's good old dependable down at the heel, solid concrete foundation, trustworthy Bluetooth Johnson.
Yes.
Hello? Yes? Why, no, he isn't. Who is this? Oh, Sadie.
Huh?
Bluetooth Johnson.
Oh, really?
Good old sweeter than the flowers in May. It matters not who won or lost or how you played the game. Reliable Bluetooth Johnson.
You better talk to him, hadn't you? Otherwise he'll hang up.
Bluetooth? How are you, Bluetooth? Glad to hear it. No, Rush ducked out someplace right after supper. Any message I can give him? Oh? Vernon Pagels is out in the lead? Okay. I see. Tomorrow he's going to buy his second United States defense bond, huh? And that puts him way ahead of the rest of you guys. Uh-huh. Okay, Bluetooth. You bet. Bye-bye. Where is Button Hook, by the way?
I haven't any idea. He walked out the kitchen door as soon as he finished wiping the dishes. He can't have gone very far or planned to stay away very long. Otherwise he'd have said something. Cadwallader J. Urquhart of Twillman, Oklahoma.
Oh, what's this?
Still reading what the paper states about the wedding.
Oh.
Cadwallader J. Urquhart of Twillman, Oklahoma. Martha, Esther, James, Donald, Arnold, and Eugene Niebel of Indianapolis, Ohio. Mr. and Mrs. R.E. Greep of Cincinnati, Indiana. Mrs. William Yocker and infant daughter Rudolphina Margaret Annabelle Beulah of Fishley, Michigan, and J.U. Epson of O'Brien, Texas, a college classmate of the groom. Quite a turnout, Immediately after the ceremony, the guests...
Oh, here's Stone, Bruce. Hi.
Hi.
Immediately after the ceremony, the guests were served to dainty refreshments at the home of Mr. and Mrs. John H. Weeper, 917 South Center Street. Fun-loving friends of the happy couple painted humorous signs on their motorcycle and decorated the handlebars with old shoes. Since the motorcycle has no sidecar, the newlyweds rode away, one seated behind the other.
Excuse me, people.
Hey.
Kindly forgive the intrusion.
Think no more about it. You live here in the house and are entitled to come and go as you please.
Oh.
Good old true blue, heart bigger than all outdoors, reliable old Bluetooth Johnson just phoned.
Yeah?
He said Vernon Pagels is going to buy his second United States defense bond tomorrow.
Oh? That puts him out ahead of everybody.
So Bluetooth allowed.
I thought I'd better drop in and tell you something, Mom.
What's that?
Nicer Scott is sitting on his front porch steps.
Pretty cold to be doing that, isn't it?
I'm going over and pasting one upside the snoot.
What's this now?
Once more, Nicer's goaded the human body to the point where civilized flesh and blood can't stand it.
Has he?
He has. And I'm going next door and weighing him one upside the bean. Thought I'd better notify you first.
Maybe you better sit down.
I can't spare the time. Can't take any chances on letting him escape. Any second, he might go in the house.
Sit down.
Human flesh and blood refuses.
Listen, Willie, I'm good and tired of every little while having to go over and over this business.
Remember tonight at supper? Nicer coming in our kitchen and being nice as pie and obliging as a horse?
I remember.
Axle grease wouldn't melt in his mouth, would it? He was the fine gentleman with the slick manners, wasn't he?
Well, he was certainly
Well, every second he was in our house, he was casting around his eyes.
What do you mean by that?
He was looking for stuff.
Looking for stuff?
Looking for stuff to pin on me.
I haven't the slightest
Well,
notion what...
he found some stuff to pin on me. What time did we eat supper?
Rush, will you kindly...
6 o'clock, wasn't it? 6 o'clock or a few minutes past? Okay. Well, by 7:30, he'd been all over town with his meanness.
I think...
Strolled up to the corner of Kelsey and Virginia. Smelly Clark, Willis Rohrback, and Leland Richards were sitting under the streetlight. When they saw me, they let out a screech. Mom, in less than an hour and a half, Nicer Scott had made me an object of ridicule before the human race.
You ask him what he's talking about.
What you talking about?
It's my knife and fork.
Knife and fork?
Yeah.
I think the weather's done something to the child.
What about your knife and fork?
When Nicer was in the kitchen the night during supper, he spotted my knife and fork.
Vinegar Cruet Old Saddle Soap. Papa's completely in the dark.
Your little knife and fork?
My little knife and fork.
You have the key to this mystery?
You know his little knife and fork he eats with.
I eat with him because you put him beside my plate.
I always put him beside your plate. Never heard you complain.
I never complained because it never occurred to me a snake in the grass like Nicer Scott would use him against me.
What did Nicer tell the boys?
He told them, Rush Gook eats with a knife and fork a third the size of regular knives and forks. Rush Gook eats with a knife and fork where there's angels engraved all over and Darling Baby printed on the back.
Why, that little Dickens.
He spread it all over town. I'm the miserable object of public ridicule.
Why, Beth gave him that knife and fork when he was 3 years old. They aren't really baby things. They're smaller than regular knives and forks, but not any 2/3 smaller. Person would have to look twice to tell the difference.
Nicer Scott looked twice. In fact, he must have stood there studying the half-wit knife and fork. He told the guys about the angels engraved all over. Told them about Darling Baby printed on the backs.
Well, I expect he did make it sound funny to the kids. A monstrous, great, big, grown-up high school gentleman, 14 years old, using sweet, dainty little knives and
He's
forks.
made it sound funny, and he's had his fun. Now I'm going over and smash his head.
Oh, no, you're not.
You suggest I leave him get away with this?
I suggest you sit still.
Right this minute, he's seated on his bottom front porch step. Wouldn't take me 4 seconds to step over and paste him one upside the snoot.
Well, you're not going to do it.
Imagine. Come over to our house this evening while we were eating supper. It was all friendship and soft talk and high-class manners. Been a warm day, Miss Gook. You're looking well, Mr. Gook. I see you enjoy jelly on your bread, Rush. And all the time, his eye was roving around. He spotted my little knife and fork with the angels on it and Darling Baby printed on the back. He got the details well in mind. Then he excused himself and went outdoors and run like the dickens all over town to spread the news. Oh, you should have heard the screaming and yelling when I showed up at the corner of Kelsey and Virginia. On a kind of Nicer Scott's polite visit this evening, I'm now a miserable object of public ridicule.
Oh, I doubt if it's that bad.
It is that bad. I'm going over and punch his dim-witted jaw.
I say you're not. Now, listen, Rush, we've been through this business again and again and again, and you ought to understand by now I don't intend to take chances on being on the outs with next-door neighbors. Kids' quarrels is one thing, and grown-up quarrels is another.
Telephone is again.
Answer it, Rush.
Probably somebody calling up to josh me.
Well, answer it. You're right there.
Gee, wouldn't it be wonderful if it was good old trustworthy, love me, love my dog, Mary is a grand old name, reliable Bluetooth Johnson again?
Hello? Oh, hello, Leroy. Leroy Snow. What is your business, Leroy? Will you repeat your question, please? No, Leroy, I do not wear a baby bonnet when I go to bed. No, and I don't wear bibs or booties either. Was that all, Leroy? Very well, Leroy. Not at all, Leroy. Anytime, Leroy. Only too happy, Leroy. Certainly, Leroy. Depend upon it, Leroy. Now allow me to bid you goodbye, Leroy. Goodbye, Leroy. See?
They're just having a little fun at your expense, sir.
I'll smash Nicer Scott's chin.
Of course, he'll do nothing of the kind.
Pete, allow me to tell you a little story about Benjamin Franklin and what he said to his manservant while flying a kite near the city of Philadelphia early in the year 1820. It just so happened this man, the servant's name was Charlie, and there was nothing he liked better than bread with sugar on it. Well, sir, according to history, Benjamin Franklin...
Cell phone's ringing.
Oh, so it is, by George. If it could only be good old brown as a berry, even Stephen, dependable Bluetooth Johnson.
Hello? Oh, yes, Milton. Milton Welch.
Oh.
What brings you to the telephone, Milton? Hope you didn't disturb me while I was sitting on my father's knee while he sung me to sleep, huh? Not at all, Milton. I assure you I wasn't sitting on my father's knee being sung sleep. Uh-huh. Uh-huh. You bet. Well, just awful nice of you to call. Yes, indeed. Call again sometime, won't you? You bet. Okay, Milton. Sure thing, Milton. Goodbye, Milton. Wonderful stuff, huh? I will step next door and fix Nicer Scott good.
No, you won't. Goodness, talk about making a camel's back out of a molehill. Now, what do you care? It is kind of halfway comical, a big 14-year-old high school gentleman using a dainty little knife and fork with darling baby on it to eat his supper with.
Is it kind of halfway comical a baboon like Nicer Scott had entered my private home like a wolf in sheep's clothing?
Why, sure. You'd probably have done the same thing. I bet if you caught Heine Call across the street eating his supper with a little knife and fork like yours, you'd...
The telephone is ringing.
I'll get it.
Always something,
Yeah.
Hello? Yes? Who? I seem to recognize the voice, but I can't quite place it. Mildred? Mildred who, please? Risdell? Fizdle? Bizdle? T like in Tom... Oh, Tisdall. Oh, sure, I recollect you now. Mildred Tisdall, isn't it?
Hey.
Hey is right.
What is your business, Mildred? Do I feed myself with my little knife and fork, or do my parents do it? Uh-huh. Why, I feed myself, Mildred. Yes. Not at all, and thanks for calling. Certainly. Goodbye, Miss Ricedale, or whatever it is. Ah, yes, Gisdell. Goodbye, Miss Gisdell. See, even the girls.
Oh, you lead a miserable life.
I'll go next door and lop Nicer Scott's ears down around his chin.
I don't think you will. Listen, you can explain to your friends it was your mother's fault. It is, too.
Mm-hmm.
I've always thought of that little engraved knife and fork as being what Rush uses to eat with. Year after year, ever since he started eating with knives and forks, I've put them beside his plate. And like I say, they're not actually baby things. They're almost as big as regular knives and forks. When I set the table, I invariably get 'em out of the drawer and put 'em beside Willie's plate. It's never crossed my mind I had a grown-up 14-year-old man for a son and was given him knives and forks covered over with angels and marked darling baby. Silly, huh? Oh, forgive me, Ashtray.
Oh, it's okay, I guess.
Is it?
Sure.
Begin to see the comical side, huh?
Yeah.
Well, where are you going?
Upstairs.
Read a nice book?
Uh-huh.
Well, that's fine.
Oh.
I'll put your little knife and fork away in the buffet someplace.
Okay.
Stuff happens, don't it?
Yeah.
Stuff happens.
Mm-hmm.
Where was I here in my newspaper piece?
Mm-hmm.
Why, say, I left out a whole paragraph.
Is you?
List of names.
Mm.
Out-of-towners.
Mm.
Mr. and Mrs. David Yasher and Sons Chauncey and Beef of Pittsburgh, Iowa. Dwight K. Frapp, Jr., Mulish, Vermont. Sidney, Lila, Hobart, Gus, Vivian, Grace, Howard, and Stungle Houch, Dismal Seepage, Ohio. And Miller Y. Miller of Itcher, Montana. A real turnout, Immediately after the ceremony, the guests were served to dainty refreshments at the home of Mr. and Mrs. John H. Weeper, 917 South Center Street. Fun-loving friends of the happy young couple painted humorous signs on their motorcycle and decorated the handlebars with old shoes. Since the motorcycle has no sidecar, the newlyweds rode away, one seated behind the other.
Well, seems like there's always something doing at that small house halfway up in the next block. So be sure to come along when we visit Vic and Sade the next time. This is Ed Hurley speaking. Well, sir, it's early evening as we enter the small house halfway up in the next block now. And here in the living room we find Mr. Victor Gook all by himself. Mr. Gook is at the telephone, chatting with his friend and fellow office worker, Ike Niesuffer. Listen.
No, now you take Plant 17 there in Dubuque, Iowa. Seems they have a foreman, an assistant foreman, and an assistant foreman's helper. Sort of a boss, straw boss, and sub-straw boss set up. Just a second, Ike. What's the matter up there?
Ask Mom where my pants are.
Mom's outdoors.
I can't find my pants.
Well, I'm very sad, but I don't see how I can be of any assistance. Please don't holler anymore.
What?
I say please don't holler anymore. I'm talking on the telephone. Pardon the delay, Ike. Where were we? Oh, haha. Well, like I told you, they handle their boxing department situation pretty much like we do.
Vic?
That's right. Haha.
Vic?
Just a second, Ike. I'm on the phone, kiddo.
Ruthie?
Ike, they suffer.
Oh.
My apologies again, Ike. Yeah. Okay. Goodbye.
What's on his mind?
Nothing much. Just wanted to talk some shop.
Where's Willie?
Upstairs. Kiddo, I have grave tidings.
How you mean?
Bad news. Sit down here beside me so you won't be in danger of falling heavily to the floor. When you went outside a while ago, Hank Goodstop
I got
telephoned.
bad news myself.
Huh?
Stuck my neck out into the middle of next week.
How so?
Well, go ahead with what you started to tell.
Hank Goodstop horned in on the ride to Shinoa.
Oh.
Say, I couldn't help it. Circumstances so adjusted themselves, I was powerless to prevent...
Don't make this any more complicated than it is already.
Is it complicated already?
Horrible.
Seems like we never arranged to go riding with the stem bottoms, but what misery and heartbreak enter into the picture.
I know.
Makes a guy a little tired. In the case of Hank Goodstop, though, I was powerless
what's
to
this now? Hank ain't even acquainted with Fred and Ruthie. Beside that, he knows I wouldn't any more ride in the same automobile with him than I'd choke Billy Patterson. You didn't invite him.
I'll explain. Hank was in the office this afternoon and said something about getting together this evening to do some work on the lodge ritual. We got a notice from headquarters the other day that we're supposed to make some revisions. So Hank inquired about my plans for tonight. I told him we had accepted an invitation to take a spin.
What's the matter up there?
I can't find my pants.
Well, I haven't got them down here.
Where are they?
Well, how should I know? Look around.
I have looked around. Looked at my clothes closet, my dresser drawer, and all over.
Well, they're bound to be up there someplace. Don't be so helpless. Goodness.
Kiddo, the thing of it is...
I don't know what this is all about, but I do know Hank Goodstop's not going to go riding in Fred and Ruthie's automobile.
Will you let me clarify the matter? Circumstances have so arranged themselves...
Let me clarify the matter once. Charlie Razor-Scums decided to let Fred tow that old busted-in car of his to Shinoa.
What?
When I was out and back just now, I met Charlie, and he said Miss Razor-Scum had mentioned at the supper table Mr. and Miss Gook were automobiling up to Shinoa after supper. Wanted to know if it'd be all right if he hitched his car on behind with some rope and come along.
What's the idea?
He needs parts for his machine, and there's places in Shinoa where he can get parts. See, they don't manufacture parts for his kind of auto anymore. Quit making them in the year 1921. But Charlie found out about this junkyard in Shinoa and decided if he ever got an opportunity...
What's the matter with that hyena up there?
I don't know.
Cut out the screaming, doorknob. This ain't the C&A roundhouse.
I can't find my pants.
Where's his pants?
I sent him to Detroit, Michigan, parcel post.
What'd you do with him after you took him off?
What?
What did you do with him after you took him off?
I never had them on. They're my new pants. Mom told me to wear my new pants to go riding with Mr. and Miss Stembottom, and I can't locate them anyplace. Look at my clothes closet, my dresser drawer.
Probably haven't even been taken out of the suit box yet. Tell him to look for the suit box.
Look for the suit box.
What am I going to do if I can't...
Look for the suit box.
What?
Your mother says your new pants probably haven't been removed from the suit box yet. Look for the suit box.
How's the suit box any place?
Well, hunt for it. And quit the hollering.
If it was a snake, it'd bit his head off.
Did you tell Charlie it was all right for him to hitch on behind Fred's car?
Oh, I couldn't tell him it wasn't all right. He said he'd been trying to find a way to haul his machine to Chenoa for a long time. He took it for granted any friends of ours would be delighted to accommodate him.
Fred won't stand for it, Sade.
Well, you scream like a panther.
He'll scream like 9 panthers. Chenoa's 20 miles from here. He won't tug that old lawnmower of Razor Scum's 20 miles.
I couldn't have made any objections if I tried. Charlie talked so fast I couldn't get a word in edgeways. Took it for granted we'd be happy to oblige. Stood there in the alley with his face just beaming. I need 24 new parts for my car, Miss Gook, he says, and this Chenoa junkyard's got everything I want. Your friends can give me a hitch to Chenoa, and me and the mechanics can rummage around old model machines and locate every part I require.
Don't he appreciate the magnitude of the favor he's asking?
Don't even act like he considers it a favor. He's perfectly satisfied any friends of ours would jump at the chance to help him out.
The motor in Fred's old bus can hardly pull the weight it's got now. It'll never stand up under an additional pull. Besides, Fred's particular about his car. Acts like an old woman. If he sees a scratch on the fender, he almost swoons away. And if anybody drops a cigar ash on the cushion, he's a raging tiger. I don't want to be the guy that breaks the news that he's going to tow a broken-down wreck to Chenoa. I don't want to be...
My. Rush, for mercy's sake.
I can't find it, our pants.
Have you looked for the suit box?
Every place.
Well, where's some other pants?
Aunt told me to wear my new one.
Have you looked on the floor underneath my dresser?
No.
Well, look. You're not a little helpless baby. Monstrous great big boy in high school.
Hank Goodstop's going to meet us out by the curbing at 7 o'clock.
No, he's not either.
Well, let me explain the circumstances.
I don't want to hear any explanations. You appreciate I can't abide Hank Gutstop. I wouldn't any more go auto riding with him than I'd throw my shoes over the People's Bank building. Why, I've told Ruthie all about Hank Gutstop. Her tongue would hang out along the street to Oakland Avenue if I'd said we'd invited Hank Gutstop to crawl in her automobile.
It wasn't a matter of inviting him, Sade.
I don't care.
It's a matter of human decency.
Any human decency Hank Gutstop's got you.
Listen, Hank's got a chance for a job in Chenoa. He telephoned while you were out back with Razor Scum. He called and said he remembered me telling him we were motoring up Route 66 tonight and asked if he couldn't squeeze in with us. Said he'd had a chance to snag a job. You can't cheat a guy out of that, Sade. Wouldn't be human.
Mr. and Mrs. Frederick Stembottom have graciously invited us to take a spin in their pleasure car. Can we calmly inform them we've asked the most notorious no-good in town to come along?
Hank has been shiftless in the past, I admit it. But if you could have heard his voice over the phone a minute ago, full of happy ambition and commendable ecstasy over the thought of a job, you'd have urged him yourself to join us. The guy's got an opportunity to work, and he's anxious to grab it.
Mr. and Mrs. Frederick Stembottom invite us to take a spin in their pleasure car, and we ask the biggest loafer in town to come along.
All right. How about this? Mr. and Mrs. Frederick Stembottom invite us to take a spin in their pleasure car, and we ask a big slob to hitch a wrecked automobile on behind. And Mr. and Mrs. Frederick Stembottom will tow him 20 miles.
I already explained that wasn't my fault. Charlie raised his gun.
Oh, what in thunder's eating you?
I can't find my pants.
I think our young son had best be subjected to some form of corporeal punishment.
Mom said they're on the floor underneath her dresser. They're not on the floor underneath her dresser. They're not any place.
What would you advise doing in this crisis?
Have you looked in the attic way? Have you looked in the attic way?
No.
Have you looked on the shelves of the hall closet?
No.
Well, look. He wears me out to where I can't even get mad.
About Hank, kiddo, you can't turn him down. Wouldn't you feel rotten if you were the means of preventing a fellow human being from obtaining a job? Why, holy smoke, you realize there's a job in Chenoa, and we'll be able to take him to Chenoa and be instrumental.
Telephone's ringing. I'll answer it.
Why, Fred and Ruthie will understand. I agree with you. Hank isn't any society fop. Maybe
Hello?
he don't wear socks.
Oh, yes, lady. Sure we are. You bet. Oh, really? I see. Well, take your time. We'll be ready whenever you drive up. Sure. All right, Ruthie. Tell Fred to take his time and not hurry on account of us. Sure. All right, lady. Goodbye. They'll be a little late. Fred has to fix a flat tire.
Why didn't you tell her?
Tell her.
about Hank Goodstop and Charlie Razorscum? Why didn't you?
Never had the nerve.
Shucks.
Just never had the nerve. She said Fred was fixing a flat tire. Means he'd be touchier than ever. Fred, we give Mr. Razorscum across the alley permission to hitch his automobile on behind yours. He wants to be pulled to Chenoa. Fred, can you squeeze over and make room for this gentleman? He's Mr. Hank Goodstop that spends all his time sleeping on the baggage trucks over at the Illinois Central Station. Wow.
How are you going to break the news to Fred? Kiddo, how are you going to break the news to Fred?
I haven't the slightest idea.
Mom!
I haven't the slightest idea.
Mom! I can't find my pants.
Sade, he can't find his pants.
Which concludes another brief interlude at that small house halfway up in the next block. Well, sir, it's quite early in the morning as we enter the small house halfway up in the next block now. And here in the kitchen we find Mrs. Victor Gook all by herself. Mrs. Gook has just sent her husband and young son off to office and school, respectively, and at the moment is enjoying a relaxing telephone chat with her friend and confidant, Mrs. Frederick Stembottom, before embarking upon the duties of the day.
Well, it all depends on whether I get through or not, Ruthie. Oh, got oceans of work mapped out for this morning. Yes, the whole upstairs for one thing. I'm afraid if I do all I plan to do, I'll feel more like stretching out on the Davenport than going downtown. Yes. Well, we'll see. Oh, did you? How are they these days?
Ma.
Still living there on Oakland Avenue, are they? Just a second, Ruthie. What's the matter? Forget something?
I come back to get some warmer clothes.
Rush just busted in. Yes. Won't you be late for school?
Good morning, Sadie.
Well.
Glorious day. I bet these scallywags down the street.
You too, Vic?
Hi, kiddo.
Well, what's going on?
I thought I'd better put on some warmer clothes.
Is it that cold out?
Quite nippy this morning. I meant to look at the thermometer on my landlady's
Well,
back porch.
excuse me, Uncle Fletcher. Miss Stembottom's here on the telephone.
Fine.
Ruthie? Sorry to keep you waiting, but my whole family just strolled in. Uncle Fletcher, too. I don't know. No.
Hey, Sadie.
Well, about this afternoon, suppose I call you around noon. Yes. All right. All righty, lady. Goodbye.
Stow Poker, trot upstairs and bring me down my heavy sweater.
Okay.
Well, wait a minute. What is this?
They're cleaning the Cutler building today, Sadie.
Cutler building?
Yes.
Cleaning it?
A bunch of fellas, you know, with rubber hoses full of steam. I guess it's steam. Looks like steam. Is it steam, Vic?
I think it's compressed air with some kind of abrasive in it. Scoot after my heavy sweater, George.
All right. I'm going to wear my corduroy jacket.
Well, isn't there any school today?
Sure, but I've only been absent twice this semester. This morning won't hurt anything.
You mean you're going to skip school?
Douglas skipping his important meeting.
What is this?
I have nothing to do with Rush, Sade. You can handle his case.
Uncle Fletcher, what's going on?
Fine.
What you fellas up to?
I bumped into Vic and Rush on Kelsey Street a minute ago.
Yes?
Vic on his way to work, Rush on his way to school.
Yes?
I told him I was going downtown to watch them clean the Cutler building. So they said they'd come along with me, but they'd better go home first and get some more clothes. It takes standing out on the public street all morning this time of year. Fellow's exposing himself to
Rush is
sickness.
going to ditch school. You're going to ditch work.
My plans have nothing to do with Rush, Sade. I wash my hands of Rush. If you feel that he should attend school, perhaps you better speak to him on the subject.
If I feel he should attend school. Well, of course I feel he should attend school. Don't you feel he should attend school?
Naturally.
Well, what is all this?
Rush entertains some distorted and altogether unreasonable notion that if I have a right to absent myself from the office this morning, he has a right to absent himself from school. I in no way encourage this preposterous idea, but he
You're
insists...
going to play hooky from work?
The expression playing hooky is rather juvenile, don't you think? I consider myself
Well, how about
capable
that
of...
big important meeting you were talking about at the breakfast table?
I might have exaggerated the importance of that meeting.
Well, my land.
There's 2 buttons off in this corduroy jacket.
You brought my heavy sweater?
Yeah.
Uncle Fletcher, what is this business that's taking place downtown?
Fine. Glorious day.
You say they're cleaning the Cutler building?
Uh-huh.
2 buttons off in this corduroy jacket, Mom.
Do you realize you're late for school?
Well, I've only been absent twice this semester. One more time.
Vic, are you just going to let this boy...
I said I had nothing to do with this case. Give me my heavy sweater, Rush.
Here.
Now, let me get this all straight. Uncle Fletcher, you met these fellas on their way to work and school just now,
Yes, I did.
You told them something was going on downtown?
Yes, that's right. I told them a gang of men was cleaning the Cutler building.
You know where the Cutler building is, safe. It's
Let
there on
Uncle
the
Fletcher
corner.
talk.
Fine.
What do you mean, cleaning the Cutler building?
Haven't you heard of
I said let Uncle Fletcher talk.
Oh.
How do you clean a building?
Well, I can't give you the ins and outs of it, Sadie. Now, whether they use steam in their rubber hoses or something else, I couldn't say. But this bunch of fellas climbs way up high along the sides of the building on scaffolds like house painters use and spray stuff. Dirt comes right off in that half-wit building, clean as if you'd washed it with soap and water. Makes quite a bit of noise, and it's interesting to watch. I expect we'll find a big crowd. Everybody ready?
I am.
Let's go.
Rush, I believe your mother objects to you.
Look, all during breakfast you hollered about the great big important meeting you had to attend in Mr. Rubish's office this morning. You said, by George, great issues were at stake.
I may have indulged in a little harmless braggadocio. As a strict matter of fact, I confess I did enlarge on the subject.
Oh, no, you don't. If you can ditch your great big important meeting where great issues are at stake to go watch him clean the Cutler building, I can ditch school one morning.
You're using pretty strong language with your father, I think, Rush. Our respective situations are not at all parallel.
Oh, no, you don't.
I believe I'll go ahead.
Yes, why don't you?
Kind of halfway promised Dan Fuller I'd meet him at the Cutler building along sometime after 9 o'clock.
Uh-huh.
Under the circumstances, Rush, in view of your mother's attitude, I suggest that you direct your footsteps towards school and nothing but school.
Oh.
I'm leaving now, Sadie. Will you telephone Miss Hammerstreet at the office and tell her I'll be in later on in the morning?
I will not.
What do you mean?
You know, cleaning the Cutler building kind of puts me in mind of old Ollie Wilmerding. You remember Ollie Wilmerding, don't you, Sadie?
No. Vic,
Come from Belvedere?
No, I never heard of him, Uncle Fletcher.
A real
Vic,
tall, skinny fella. Wore a heavy winter overcoat in the summertime and just one of those seersucker suits in the wintertime. Had a lot of little cards all printed. When you'd meet him on the street, he'd just hand you one and not say a word.
What did it say in the card?
Hello, friend. My name is Ollie. Life is beautiful and life is jolly. Howdy, stranger. Yes, by golly.
Uncle Fletcher, if you...
Well, sir, this Ollie Wilmerding used to have a regular schedule of building watching. Made it his profession, by George. Fella go to work and build even a half-wit chicken coop. Ollie'd be there. Build a new house, Ollie'd be there. Tear up the street, Ollie'd be there. Chop down the tree, Ollie'd be there.
Vic, I wouldn't have believed this. Just wouldn't have believed it.
Believed what?
You playing hooky and encouraging your son to do it, too. Just to stand on the sidewalk and watch some men tear down a building.
They're not going to tear down any building, Mom. They're going to clean
You go to
the
school, mister.
Oh.
Rush Gook, did you tell me no?
No, I never told you no, but if God can sit at the breakfast table and rave and holler about how he has to attend a great big important meeting where great issues are at stake...
That has nothing to do with you.
All right, then. I'll see you people later. I'll just say goodbye now.
Telephone's ringing.
Telephone's ringing.
I'll answer it.
You're being very stubborn and headstrong, Rush.
I don't suppose you're leaving for a while, Vic.
Why, yes, Uncle Fletcher, I am. Shall we take our...
I'll have to have it quiet.
Fine.
Hello? Oh, yes, Miss Trogle. No, I haven't even started the breakfast dishes.
Go to school, sir.
Well, I don't know, Miss Trogle. Miss Sambottom called a little while ago and mentioned going downtown this afternoon, but I've got so much work mapped out for myself, I guess I'll have to wait and see how I feel around... What? Yes.
You say you're ready to leave, Vic?
In one moment, Uncle Fletcher. I have to notify my office I'll be somewhat later than usual.
Half-wits will have the lame-brained Cutler building all clean.
Surely, Miss Trogle. Well, suppose I let you know. Oh, around noon, say. Fine. All right, Miss Trogle. You bet. Goodbye. Haven't you left for school yet?
Mom, if God can ditch his great big
Leave
important...
school, sir. This instant. There's been enough nonsense.
Well, people, I guess I'll say goodbye now. See, I told Dan...
Be right with you, Uncle Fletcher. Will you call the office, kiddo, and tell Mr.
I will not.
Why?
simply because I will not.
Very well. If you step to one side, I'll do it myself.
You're actually going to duck the great big important meeting in Mr. Rubish's office that you raved and hollered so much about this morning? Just to stand in the public street with a crowd of loafers?
Let me be the best judge of my actions, Sade. Let me be the best judge of my actions.
By George,
You were told to go to school. Why are you standing there?
Be gone, sir.
Well, I got my coat buttoned up, my hat on. Wonder what's keeping me. Why don't I go? Goodbye, Sadie. I'll probably see you maybe tomorrow.
Telephone's ringing.
Answer it, Rush.
Telephone is ringing.
Oh? Yes. Yes, I believe he is. 1 second.
Office.
Could be.
Man.
Lady.
One side.
Goodbye, Sadie.
Goodbye, Uncle Fletcher.
Goodbye, Vic.
Hello? Yes?
Fine.
Oh, they are, Miss Hammersweet? Ha-ha. Ha-ha. Well, I got delayed a little. Yes. Yes. Well, tell Mr. Rubish that. Yes. All right, Miss Hammersweet. All right. Goodbye.
Goodbye, Vic.
Goodbye.
I'm leaving now.
Oh, so am I. Say, I'm going to the office.
Office?
They're waiting for me. In fact, they're holding up the meeting for me.
Fine.
So I guess I'll go on along.
Guess I'll go to school.
Here's my heavy sweater.
All right, I'll take it upstairs.
My corduroy jacket, Ma.
Uh-huh.
Well, anybody going my way?
I am, Uncle Fletcher. Far as Kelsey Street.
I am too, Uncle Fletcher. As far as Kelsey Street.
Goodbye, Sadie.
Goodbye.
Glorious day.
Yes, isn't it?
Which concludes another brief interlude of that small house halfway up in the next block. But be sure to come along when we visit Vic and Sade the next time. This is Ed Hurley speaking. Well, sir, it's late afternoon as our scene opens now. And here in the kitchen of the small house halfway up in the next block, we find Mr. Victor Gook and his son, Mr. Rush Gook. Vic is standing beside the gas stove, removing his hat and overcoat, having just this moment arrived home from the office. He seems a trifle agitated and is speaking sharply. Listen.
Who's in the other room?
Some dear old chums of you and mine.
Who are they?
Mr. and Mrs. Somebody and a friend of theirs from someplace.
Don't you know their names?
No, when Mom introduced her, she just said, this is Rush. I believe she called them Bert and Winnie. Yeah, Bert and Winnie. The other ladies,
Look,
I never...
I'm going to Dubuque, Iowa.
Yeah?
Me and Ike Neestuff. Business trip to Plant 17. Leaving on the 4:30 train. I got to pack my valise.
Who's this nice man that dropped out of the sky?
Don't let him on that I'm here, see?
What?
I'm going to Plant 17 on the 4:30 train. I can't get
Winnie
involved in
Tugman's
that.
in the living room.
Who?
Winnie Tugman from Dixon. She's Mrs. Tyson now. Her and her husband and a cousin are passing through town.
Don't go away, Rush. I'm liable to need you. Kiddo, here's the setup. I'm going to Plant 17, and I'm in an awful hurry, taking the 4:30 train. I haven't got time to get involved in any living room crosstalk with your old pal, so why don't you
Where
take my
is it,
apologies for Plant 17,
Where's that?
Dubuque, Iowa.
Oh, well, how long are you going to be
Oh,
gone?
just 2 days, maybe 3. Ike Neesuffer is going with me. We only just got our orders from the boss half an hour ago. Look, why don't I slip on upstairs and get my valise and my other
You
clothes?
mean you're
and
not even going to say hello to Winnie and her man?
Why should I? I don't even know Winnie and her man.
You don't know Winnie Tugman.
I just barely remember the name. Hey, I just can't stand
Will
here.
you
I gotta
march
get
in that
this...
living room and speak to Winnie and her man?
Yes, and then that'd mean stalling around half an hour, grinning and mouthing and listening to junk like, I expected to see an older man. I understand you're in the kitchenware business, Mr. Gook. See, I've only got a few
March
minutes.
in the living room and say hello to Winnie and her man. What kind of
Ike Neesuffer out and back, Doug.
What?
Ike Neesuffer's out
Ike
and back.
Neesuffer's out and back, Sade. Ike Neesuffer's out and back. He's ready and waiting. I can't...
Well, Ike Neesuffer can
Knock on the window, Rush. Knock on the window and holler. I'll be right with him.
Okay.
I'm going on upstairs, Sade. You can tell
You
Jenny...
can't go upstairs.
Why can't I go upstairs?
I'll be right with you. What will Winnie and her man think of all this?
Why can't I go upstairs?
The young lady's up there.
What young lady?
Bert's cousin.
Bert's cousin. Well, who's Bert? Oh, for
Bert
Pete's
is
sake, Sade.
Winnie's husband. This young lady cousin is a Miss Gag. She was all worn out from riding in an automobile and asked if she could lay down on our bed a little bit and kind of rest
Rush,
up.
run up and fetch me down my clothes. Clothes? My blue serge suit, some underwear, pajamas, socks, toothbrush, all the stuff that I'll need.
Or I suppose you want
Here, I'll go myself. I won't disturb the woman. I can
No,
sneak in and...
she's laying on our bed.
Well, so what? If she's asleep, she won't even know
She
it.
might not even be asleep. You'd frighten her. Besides, she's unlaced her shoes and loosened her collar. A strange man comes stomping in.
My train leaves in a little better than a quarter of an hour. Ike's supper's outside waiting for me. Surely you wouldn't knock an important business trip into a cocktail.
Tell me what it is you want from upstairs. I'll go.
My blue serge suit, my toothbrush. Wait a minute, that's not all.
Winnie and her man sitting in the living room with their teeth in their mouth and us all out in the kitchen.
I want my blue serge suit, my toothbrush, my valise, some
Rush,
handkerchief.
go entertain Mr. and Mrs. What did I say Winnie's married name was?
I don't know.
Tyson?
Please.
Go entertain him.
Entertain him.
Talk with him. Start up some nice little conversation. Where are you going? Be right back, Ike.
The name is Tyson?
Yes.
I'll strike up a jolly chat
Say,
concerning...
surely you appreciate the
All right. What all you want?
It'd be so much easier and quicker if I could go upstairs.
The young lady's removed some of her things.
I want my blue serge suit. I want a change or two of underwear.
Well, give me your pencil.
A pencil?
So I can write stuff down.
Oh.
Oh, ish, Vic.
Well, Mr. Tyson, has this been a silly day?
You don't need any pencil, Sadie. You can remember what I need.
Wouldn't hurt you to at least go in and say hello to Winnie and her man.
My blue serge suit, a change or two of underwear, socks, pajamas, valise.
Wash rag?
What?
You want a wash rag, won't you?
No.
Sure.
Porter to give me a wash rag.
Porter?
Porter on the train. I'll give him a dime and he'll give me a wash
Would you
rag.
rather have your own lovely wash rag?
No.
Well, there, Mr. Tyson, that's rich.
Oh, what must they think? They know you're out here.
Will you go get my stuff, please?
Blue serge suit, toothpaste, underwear, socks, handkerchief, shirts,
You know what I need for a 2 or 3 day trip out of town, Sade?
Dubuque, Iowa, you're going, huh?
Yes.
Where are you going to eat your supper?
On the train.
Want Rush to fix your lunch?
I do not want Rush to fix me any
You
lunch.
can just as easy as not toss an orange and a banana in a
I
paper
do
sack.
not want Rush to fix me any lunch. I do not want Rush to fix me any lunch. Will you go get my stuff, please?
Mr. and Miss Tyson think they better leave pretty quick, Mom.
See? They're going to leave.
Oh.
They'll be right with you, people. What they doing?
Sitting on the Davenport looking glum and wondering what the heck is going on out here and straining their ears.
Please.
All right. How many shirts you want?
I don't care.
3?
Yes.
I bet you get away just about bite my head off.
I tried to strike up a jolly conversation about the weather, but Mr. and Miss Tyson just looked
Call
at
a
me.
taxi cab.
Taxi cab.
Yes.
Taxi cab telephone number is 6759J.
Look it up.
I'm pretty sure it's 6759J.
Look it up.
I might as well try 6759J. 6759J, please. Yes.
Be right with you, Ike.
I think every time you hammer on the window and holler, be right with you, Ike, it puzzles the people in another room.
Ike is sitting in the garbage box.
I wish to order a taxi cab, please. The Gook residence on Virginia Avenue. That's right, Gook.
Right away.
Right away. All right. Be along without delay. Wish I was going with you to Dubuque. Taking off your shoes? Oh, I see. Removing your clothes preparatory to putting on your other ones. Well, sir, I don't know what that's a good idea. You not only save time, but you also take advantage.
The telephone is ringing.
Good old dependable strike while iron is hot, trustworthy Bluetooth Johnson. Hello? Yes. What? Bluetooth Johnson.
Oh.
How are you, Bluetooth? Mighty glad to hear it. Me? Couldn't be better, Bluetooth. Couldn't be better. When, tonight? Delighted, Bluetooth. Delighted. Why don't you come past and holler for me after supper? Fine. Fine, Bluetooth. You bet. Goodbye.
Oh, got a knot in my shoestring.
That happened. Good old reliable won't take no for an answer. Bluetooth Johnson and myself playing.
Telephone is ringing.
By George, so it is. How's that old saying go? It never rains while iron is hot. No, that's not right. The goose that laid the golden egg after the horse was stolen is the straw that broke
Will you answer the telephone, please, Rush? Will you answer the telephone?
I'm going to.
It's a harsh world.
Oh? Yes. Gus.
For me?
No.
Well, why do you say golf?
Just wanted to inform you this is Vernon Pickles on the way.
Oh,
How are you, fellow fella? That's great, fella. Fine. Fine, fella. Fine. Fine, fella, fine. Fine, fella. I mean, fine, fella. I am a fine fella?
Oh.
No, you're all twisted around, fella. I didn't say I am a fine fella. I said fine fella. Meaning fine fella. Yeah. Okay, fella. You bet, fella. Go on, fella.
Look here, fella. I've had just about enough of this.
Back, Winnie. So sorry about all this confusion. You and Bert have patience one more minute.
Winnie and Bert act awful dismal and cranky sitting there on the davenport. I attempted to strike up a jolly
Here you
conversation.
are.
Quite an envelope.
Yes, make room, will you?
I expect you
Who's
people.
that on the phone?
Good old never say die, you scratch my back and I'll
suppose
scratch.
you're at least coming in to say goodbye.
Let me tell you goodbye now. I simply can't get involved in any game.
How soon does your train go?
15 minutes.
You told me 15 minutes half an hour ago.
I like to give myself ample leeway when I go away on a train.
Want rice to fix your lunch?
No.
You can toss an orange and a banana in a sack.
No.
Or put your wash rag in the inner pocket of your valise.
Don't want any wash rag.
Sure you want a wash rag.
Porter will give me wash rag.
Who?
Porter on the train. He'll give me wash rag. I'll give him a dime and he'll give me wash rag. Porter.
Well, I have to get back to my company.
Well, just before I leave, I'll holler and you come out a minute and tell me goodbye.
Telephone ringing.
Yes, sir.
Good old reliable down-to-heel Bluetooth Johnson again, right, George? Hello? Yes?
Anybody for me?
Yes, I believe he is. 1 second. Yeah.
Who is it?
Lady.
What lady?
Never placed the voice.
I'd better get back in the living room, Dick.
Hello? Oh, yes, Miss Hammersweet.
The office.
Yes.
Oh, is that a fact? I see. Here. Okay, Miss Hammersweet. What? The reason you couldn't get in touch with Mr. Niestuffer, he's out in the alley behind my house here. Yeah, I'll tell him, Miss Hammersweet. No, I won't be back down any more today. No. Okay. Goodbye, Miss Hammersweet.
It's called off?
Yeah.
What's the matter?
Office called Dubuque in the long-distance telephone and found out the guys Ike and I were going to go see her in New York City.
Oh. Where are you going?
Windy.
That's too bad.
No go, Ike. No go, Ike.
Every time Guff does that, Mr. and Miss Tyson jump a yard off in the davenport.
He don't understand me, Pete. Go outdoors and tell him.
Okay.
Say the office called Dubuque long distance and found out Gus Fuss and L. Wiley Fapper in New York City.
Okay.
Now you can come visit with the people.
Shirt and Denny Bryce.
Bert and Winnie Tyson. Will you come in and talk and be nice? They're leaving in just a little bit. Will you come? Winnie! Look! Here's Victor!
Which concludes another brief interlude at the small house halfway up in the next block. But be sure to come along when we visit Vic and Sade the next time. This is Ed Hurley, he's speaking. Well, sir, it's late afternoon at the end of the small house, halfway up in the next block now. And here in the living room we find Mr. Victor Gook, his son, Mr. Rush Gook, and Sade's amiable Uncle Fletcher. A gentleman have just this moment arrived, and they're removing hats and overcoats. Listen.
Yes, Sadie is not home. Probably upstairs or down cellar. The back door was unlocked. Mom very seldom even goes across the alley to Miss Harris's without locking the back door.
Fine. Likely she's off Christmas shopping.
Yes? You, Rob?
Hi, Johnny. Who's at home?
I'll be right down.
Take everybody's hats and coats in the hallway, why don't you, George?
Okay. You can be getting the cards out of the library table drawer.
I'm only going to play a couple hands or so, Vic. You sit down long enough to take the chill out of them, go.
Anything you say?
I better let Sadie know I'm not staying for supper. Otherwise, she might return.
Uncle Fletcher.
Greetings, Dr. Pete. I couldn't stay for supper even if I was invited. My landlady Miss Color's fixing special turnip greens this evening. No, I'll play a hand or two around and step on home.
You here too, Uncle Fletcher?
Hello, Sadie. These scallywags told me you were off downtown Christmas shopping.
Did they?
Yeah.
I suggest we deal everybody 10 cards just like you're doing two-handed rummy. That way the game lasts longer and there's more chances.
What's the idea telling me your mother was off downtown Christmas shopping, right?
Oh, I never told you that.
It takes boys. They enjoy it, Julie.
Don't bother there for a minute, Dick.
What?
I say don't bother fixing up your rummies there for a minute. I've got something to show you.
Something to show me?
Yes, you too, Willie. Go out in the dining room.
What for?
You'll see. We're going out in the dining room a little bit, Uncle Fletcher. Sit down and make yourself comfortable.
I'm not staying for supper, Sadie.
You're welcome to.
Mighty nice of you to insist, but like I just got through telling what's his name, I promised Miss Keller I'd come home and eat turnip greens. She's fixing special. So the way it was, I bumped into Vic just now coming from the office, and Rush comes from Tapman's vacant lot. I said, why didn't I stop in a while and get warm? I handed to Robbie. I decided fine. Thought I'd better get understood right away, though. I wasn't going to stay for supper. And then Rush told me you were off downtown Christmas shopping.
I never told you any such a thing.
Yeah. I understand, boys. Enjoy so.
Come out in the dining room, you two fellas. I'm sure Uncle Fletcher will excuse you for a minute or so.
What's out in the dining room?
Come along.
After you, Charlie.
Huh?
It's a shame company has to be present to see this.
See what?
I'd realized I had two little babies in the house. Instead of two great big men, I'd have bought myself a padlock.
Oh, I got no idea what you're talking about, kiddo.
I wouldn't laugh.
Where's everybody going?
They'll be right back. Will you open the bottom buffet drawer, please?
Sure.
It happened once before, a long time ago. I thought then I'd made everything clear. Looks like I didn't.
Are you referring to the...
I asked you to open the bottom buffet drawer. You're just going to stand there?
Oh, yes, civilized question.
Open the bottom buffet drawer.
I'm not staying for supper, you know, Sadie.
Just sit down and be comfortable a minute, Uncle Fletcher.
I made a definite with my landlady, Miss Keller. I'd be home to eat special turnip greens. She mentioned at the dinner table that it's known kids.
Don't refuse, boy, George. That's where they get it. You remember the other day we were searching high and low?
Yes, your overshoes by George, so that's where they've been.
Why don't the call ever put my overshoes?
What's the matter with you there? All right, just a second, Uncle Fletcher.
Well, I better be on that beat then, special turnip greens.
Uncle Fletcher's a great
Did you notice this?
Well, my first baseman's glove. I would have bet $40 I'd carelessly left that first baseman's glove in Tapman's vacant lot last summer. I would have bet $50.
Either one of you fellas remember how I cried and wept and yelled when I discovered you'd used this bottom buffet drawer to keep your trash in before?
Oh, about those overshoes, Sadie. I plead complete innocence. It's a mystery to me how they ever...
Complete innocence about this?
Oh,
This.
why, isn't that...
Yes, it is. It's the rotten, old, dirty, rusty, rotten horseshoe you brought home from ice cream supper's base.
Oh, that's the horseshoe I presented me with. I won 6 games in a row with it and made 7 ringers in succession. Let's see, wasn't it early last September
What
that I
is it
got...
doing in the bottom drawer of my buffet?
Darned if I know. Rush, have you been taking liberties with my personal possessions and secret living
I dare not.
What's everybody doing in the dining room?
I don't open this bottom buffet drawer ever. It's where I keep my knives, my best wash rags and doilies and tablecloths and napkins. And you fellas knew. You just couldn't have forgot that other time when this happened.
What's everybody doing in the dining
Just
room?
by accident, I opened the drawer this afternoon. Needed a place to put that little handkerchief Dottie Brainkeeper sent me. Opened the drawer and like to think it. Rush, how about that ice cream?
I've been looking at that ice skate with considerable interest. It's not my ice skate.
It's not your ice cream.
It's not my own personal ice skate, no. I mean by that I never purchased the ice skate. As a matter of strict downright fact, I found that ice skate laying in the middle of Center Street way last summer. I remember saying to myself at the time, it certainly was a peculiar season to come across an ice skate with the thermometer at 90 degrees.
Did you put the ice skate in the drawer there?
I'm just trying to recollect if I did or not.
You'll notice it's sticking into the fancy table runner Miss Dembottom bought in Chicago and gave me for my birthday, and I considered it too nice to use.
Well, I'm racking my brains, but I can't seem to recollect placing that particular ice skate in that particular bottom buffet drawer.
Telephone's ringing.
Telephone's ringing.
I'll get it.
I'll get it.
No, it's probably like me,
It's probably Bluetooth John.
I'll get it.
I'll get it. You fellas stay right here.
What's everybody doing in the dining room?
I'm sorry you had to be a witness to this, Uncle Fletcher.
Right.
What's the idea of piling ice cream on top of your mother's table start?
I don't even recall doing it.
Likely story.
As far as that goes, what's the idea of piling horseshoes on Mom's table start?
Are you all of a sudden the district attorney and the judge and a stern old man? I'm not responsible to you for my actions, my friend.
Sadie Beck? What? Sadie Beck stole something this year?
Yeah.
Fine. No, you take ladies' outfit, Beck. Remember Phil Wisher there in Sterling? Wore cap, socks, shirt, necktie, underwear, pants, coat, and vest, all made out of the same material?
No.
Later died?
No.
Phil Wisher married a woman, and that woman got vexed on her wedding day and stayed vexed for 27 years. Phil never made a man on purpose at all. All he done was say, who's that funny-looking couple with the whiskers? It happened he was referring to his wife's father. Wife got vexed and stayed vexed. Never a day passed with what she didn't jump on at the breakfast table and say, I suppose you're wondering who that funny-looking chap with the whiskers is.
What's so terrible, terrible, terrible funny?
Uncle Fletcher just told an amusing anecdote. Here's about it.
Shame, Uncle Fletcher had to be a witness.
Yeah. So Phil Witcher's wife got vexed and stayed vexed.
Who was it on the phone, please?
Miss Troble.
Nobody for me.
I said it was Miss Troble. No, I never opened this bottom buffet drawer myself. I feel like it sometimes, but I hesitate. See, everything is arranged so carefully. Every wash rag, table runner, napkin, and doily is folded and patted down to perfection. I don't like to dig around and take chances on disarranging stuff I've labored over.
If I may murmur one little word in my own defense,
I'd like to... You fellas, though. Ice skates, overshoes, old newspapers, baseball mitts, and screwdrivers. These easy slippers are your property, aren't they, Rush?
I can explain exactly how they happen to be there.
Can you? Tell us. Ought to be interesting.
Well, sir, one evening some weeks ago, I was studying algebra in my pajamas. The doorbell rang, and it was Mr. and Miss Heddle stopping past for a few minutes on their way home from the picture show. Rush, you said, run upstairs and put on your clothes. I run upstairs and put on my clothes.
Kind of a long, dull, tiresome story, don't you think, Uncle Fletcher?
Beg pardon, Sadie?
Don't you think it's kind of a long, tiresome story Rush is telling?
Yeah, yes it is. Reminds me of Sid Keepers there in Belvedere.
His Sid Keepers there in Belvedere piled dirty old junk on top of his mother's loveliest linen things?
Yeah. Sid Keepers married a woman 24 years old.
How old is this?
There's hardly any time for you to smirk and snort and titter, Rush.
Sid Keepers married a woman 24 years old.
how old is Sid?
Are you either?
Sadie?
Yes.
Sid Keepers married a woman 24 years old.
How old was Sid?
26. Sid Keepers was 26 years old when he got married. Started taking violin lessons. Took violin lessons every Sunday afternoon up until the time he was 57. And at the end of that time wasn't able to play a single tune.
What was the matter?
Right.
Why couldn't he play a single tune after all them lessons?
He played scales. He liked scales, so he played scales. Asked Sid to slosh out his fiddle and make off a selection, and he'd play a scale. However, for an encore, he'd play another scale. He played scales as good as any violin player around. But they got monotonous after an evening.
Getting back to this buffet drawer.
Yeah.
Is it going to happen again?
No.
You know what takes place? You come dashing in the house with your ice skates and your overshoes and your baseball mitts and want to get them out of sight somewhere, but won't go to the trouble of lifting your little finger to find the suitable. This bottom buffet drawer is close and handy. You simply yank it over.
Telephone's ringing.
The telephone's ringing.
I'll get it.
I'll get it.
Yeah, I'm positive it's like this.
I'm positive it's Bluetooth.
I'll
get it.
Why don't you both go get it?
What?
Why don't you both go get it?
All right. I have to go home for supper, you know, Sadie.
Sorry you can't stay.
Miss Keller's preparing special turnip greens this evening. Vic and Vic Sade.
No, I'm the one that's vexed.
Fine.
Just look at my bottom buffet drawer.
Yeah.
And it'll happen again.
Oh, sure.
It'll happen again.
Remember J.L. Dunsplott's benediction?
No.
Was right-handed up till the time he was 29 and turned left-handed overnight?
No.
J.L. Dunsplott married a woman 53 years old.
How old is he?
37.
Well, neighbors, so ends today's visit at that small house halfway up the next block. But seems like something's always going on at the residence of Mr. and Mrs. Victor Gook. I'll be waiting there to open the door for you when you drop in on Vic and Sade the next time. This is Ed Hurley who speaks.